Welcome to Love Where You Live, a podcast where we have conversations about why it's awesome to live in Boulder and Boulder County. And today I'm joined by someone who you're going to want to learn more about, not just because you're trying to get to his wiener dog. Sorry, I had to say that. I'm with Alexey Vermeulen, and this is an ex-Pro Tour rider and a multiple Iceman Cometh champion. I'm going to dangle some things out there. A former road race champion, has gone big in gravel and mountain bike racing. There you go, because not everyone is an endurance fan that listens here. But just beyond that, he's got this dog, Sir Willy, that made me first notice him on the roads, and a lot of folks follow that. But this guy is a Boulder person now. He lives here, he trains here, he has property here, and I'm excited to welcome him to the show. Alexey, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited.
I can't believe I made the wiener joke to start.
It's amazing. I had a friend the other day who does some massage work on me, and she's like, "Hey, I just started to Google. Could you leave a review?" And I was like, "Yes." Mariah plays with my wiener. And she was like, "Maybe not that one.
Maybe leave that off." Okay, fair enough. And I do hilarious. It's a family show, but I feel like we're still above board.
Yeah, Willy is a very lovable dachshund. I was not into small dogs growing up. He was Sophie's dog first.
Yes.
But it's been fun to ride with him. So yeah, I guess to get to the point, I ride with my wiener dog on my back. And it's great fun for most people.
It is. Oh my gosh, we're going to come back to that. That's so good. And he's long hair and he's cute. And I think that it's very appropriate you led with, Sophie had him first. She shared that when I first met you guys at a cocktail party, she goes, "Well, actually, he was my dog first." So
yep.
Very important it's as couples, like there's so many things that we need to do to keep a relationship strong, but really more than anything, it's just prioritizing what was mine and what is yours.
And making jokes about what happens in the split, Sophie, I feel like when she feels good about me, she's like, "Oh, well, if we were ever get separated, like Willy loves you more now at this point." And I was like, "I don't think that's how that works."
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Making jokes,
No, it's good. Like what you could do if and when that ever happens, you just set a line and you just put him in the middle wherever he runs to. No.
Yeah, no, it's funny. We do, I feel like we constantly do tests, She's like, "Oh, well, you hold the steak and I'll hold the salmon. We'll see which one he likes more."
That is too funny. That is good. Well, we've got to spend a little bit more time with Willy. We've also got to spend a lot of time chatting about you and learning more. And I always say this selfishly, this podcast is because I love Boulder and I love fun, cool people. And so I get to make new friends or learn more about my acquaintances and associates here in town. So we'll dive in the way I usually do, which is going way back. And I'd love to just know, I know you grew up in Michigan, but I want to hear more about that. Where in Michigan? What did you do? What was it like growing up there? Tell us about your back history.
Yeah. I grew up in Pinckney, Michigan. I went to Dexter schools. I like to say I was right on the line. And I grew up playing hockey. I have two younger brothers. Wow. Super competitive. Three brothers. Very competitive. Everything in the household.
Yeah.
And I think my parents did a good job kind of like shooing us out the door at any given moment.
Yeah.
We lived on a lake, and so it was just like go outside, get your zoomies out, come back in.
Yeah.
Probably high school, I started to realize how much I love athletics and competition beyond my family. And I wouldn't say focused on anything, but I started dabbling. I realized that I probably wasn't going to be an NHL hockey player as much as I would trade anything for that in the world.
Yeah.
Started running cross country.
Okay.
My grandfather had immigrated from Holland after World War II to Canada. And so he kind of had this love for bikes and racing. And so I didn't really understand it, but when I would go for Christmas or Thanksgiving, I'd go and see his basements full of wheels and bikes and bike on a trainer. I was like, "Why would you ride inside? That seems silly."
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah. And my mom started doing some local triathlons, so I jumped in a kid's triathlon.
Oh, that's cool.
And it kind of just exploded this understanding or love for endurance sport.
Yeah.
But the one thing I think that always worked is I also love team sports. I mean, that's why I love cross country, right? Is even if it seems individual, it's so focused on being a team player. And so I jumped on a bike and did a triathlon and kind of realized that I wasn't the biggest fan of the rest of the triathlon.
Okay.
I liked running. I liked riding. Swimming kind of sucked. I know a lot of people say this, but I will swim for survival.
Sure.
But swimming for fun is not my thing.
Gotcha.
And that kind of just moved me toward, I think, the pathway I've been on since is I ran cross country and raced bikes to kind of finish out my high school career, and bikes just kind of kept taking me places.
Yeah.
I got to go to Europe when I was 16 and slowly kind of found this path. And when I was at the end of high school, my parents kind of let me make a choice of like, hey, do you want to defer college and kind of take this bike thing as far as you can? And haven't looked back yet. Still haven't had a real job somehow.
And you said, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Well, yeah. So right there, just curious, when was your last hockey game? Because I mean, it's not something you don't just zip down to the rec center and start playing a little quick pickup.
No, and to be honest, like I haven't even brought my gear out here to Colorado because we just bought a house last year and I haven't had space. I mean, we've played on the lake a couple times, but I'd say proper hockey game was probably like 2012, 13, a long time ago. Okay,
so and then all right, and what other sports? This is just I'm just like I don't know, curious about that. In high school, you gravitated to that, but was there anything other than hockey, running, cycling?
I played soccer for a minute. Yeah, that was kind of like 8th, 9th grade.
Yeah, okay, fun.
Yeah,
no, that's neat. And the name of the town that you grew up in? Tell me it again.
Dexter, Michigan.
Dexter. Okay, and how big is that?
It's a great question.
Ish. Small?
I almost want to ask Siri. It can date my age. I don't know. Okay. I mean, it's pretty small. It's outside Ann Arbor, though.
Yeah.
So it's less than half an hour from Ann Arbor.
I didn't let you know this is always going to be a geography of some sort, quiz or test. You will be
that's not good for me. We can get to this, but I barely finished high school. I was too focused on the sports. So.
Yeah. No, it's good. Well, let's stay there. So, okay. And you were small town brothers. Are you the middle, youngest, oldest?
Oldest.
Okay. Yeah. So oldest of the two. Did you dominate the other two? Were they chasing
I wouldn't say dominate. Middle children, as anybody knows, have a propensity for being stronger and suffering more than any of us.
Oh, yeah.
It took me and my youngest brother to gang up on the middle one to win.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah.
The most famous story that I told at his wedding last year was that we once played a game of Capture the Flag. Seems fun, but there's 3 boys. You got to split up. It was myself and my youngest brother against Rem, the middle, and we played 3 games. He stepped on a pitchfork in the first game and kept playing for 2 more games, and then went to the hospital.
I love this guy.
It was insane.
All 3 of you guys. That's just but he's tenacious.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're staying in front because you're also there's some pride in the big brother and a competitive guy. Yeah. You can't let it doesn't matter how hard he tries. You still have to be in front.
Front, in the middle, wherever it is, I need to be seen. You need to be seen. If we're in the car and there's 3 seats in the back, I'm going to place myself in the middle.
In the middle, amazing. And what's the age difference?
It's 2 years to my middle brother and 6 years to my youngest.
Okay, so your middle and you were in high school together, and then your youngest is coming through middle school back a little behind. Okay, so cool. And did they ever pick up any cycling at all? Was that?
Yeah, almost everything. I think that's one thing looking back as a kid. I think I probably forced them out of a lot of sports. Like being the oldest, you needed it was so competitive that either keep up or get dropped mentality. But my youngest played hockey longer than I did, all the way through high school and almost played in college. He went to school in Canada. So hockey is quite hard to get him to play on a team in Canada. And my middle brother didn't. I mean, he ran cross country through high school. He's super competitive and very good at what he does, but he's always been more. He wants to do things with his hands, work on cars.
Okay, cool.
He just bought a massive property and he's working on building out the garage, and he can fix anything. So he kind of gravitated toward that.
That's cool. They're very cool. And do you still like to run?
Yeah,
you do.
I wouldn't say I run all the time. There's even a competitive nature I feel like with Sophie and I, where I'm like my PR from high school is still like the tiniest bit better than her 5K PR.
Okay, yeah.
But I run. It's a hard mix. I think as triathletes, you guys make it work. But it is running and riding do not mix that well together.
It's funny when so this side of the barricade, right, where I'm not doing triathlon anymore. I completely understand that. Like when you say that, it makes total sense. It's like no, they aren't. They're in conflict with each other. Yeah. But for so many years, I'm like it's the absolute perfect blend. Yeah. And I think. But I understand what you're saying. And so if, for example, you're leaving town, but there's a Thanksgiving turkey trot, are you in or are you out?
Yeah, I'm in.
You're in.
Yeah, and I definitely I think the way my mind and body works is if you tell me we got to go for a hike or a 10K run, I'm going to go running every time.
Yes, you pick. Okay.
I'm like the hike. I'm like, man, we are moving slow right now.
Yeah. Can we pick this up?
Yeah. Which is I think it's good to settle down as you get older and find that balance. But walking is the least fun of my activities.
No, for sure. No, and you know what? I think keep that because I think that this is, again, I'm not, I'm not going to come back and check in on you in 20 years on this, but I think that keep that mentality, because the more of that young mentality and that sort of vibrancy, that drive, that'll keep you young. Yeah. So then when you're 70, if you are still trying to, you'll be like, yeah, I want to go faster. Let's do this. It's a faster hike. It's a run, whatever it is. I really think there's something to that.
Yeah. So you're saying a podcast in 2045?
Yeah. Let's put it on the calendar.
Cool. And perfect. Does Google Calendar go that far?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can go 20 years ahead.
I will have to research that. If I had a handheld mobile device, I'd search the internet. But okay, cool. So I'm getting a picture. So you said high school, and you were able to compete on the bike in Dexter?
Yeah, my principal was awesome. My principal loved the Tour de France.
That's cool.
And he actually built an online program for me that allowed me to either walk with my class or run cross country with the class. And so I actually missed from sophomore year to senior year, completely online.
Yeah.
But I had a seat in every class I took. So for example, that kind of ability for me to come be part of my class, I would, when I was home, I'd come in and go to orchestra 7 a.m. in the morning.
That's
I wanted to be around people.
Yeah.
That was harder in things like science or math,
for sure,
because it's hard to keep track of exactly where everyone is and be at the same place.
Understood.
But it was awesome because I didn't end up being able to walk with my class, but I was able to, come back and run cross country all 4 years with the team.
Cool.
That, usually you have to make that sacrifice pretty early.
Yeah.
And you don't get to have that kind of feeling of being connected with a group.
Yeah. And that's some people are fine with that. Yeah. But you've already said, even looking at your love for team sports and that side, and you're clearly an outgoing, you're a people person.
Yeah.
You connect with people, and that's important. So you're traveling everywhere in high school, like all over the world or all over the country?
Yeah. It was like a slow crescendo up to it. That first trip was supposed to be 3 weeks. So not to jump ahead, but I ended up sophomore year winning nationals. Road bike.
Right.
And that kind of accelerated everything. It took a little bit of the financial side off my parents. The national team picked it up. And I went over to Europe for the first time to see if I could kind of hack it as a road cyclist.
Yeah.
So I was 16 years old. It's supposed to be 3 weeks. I ended up being selected for the world's team. Europe, the kind of racing just fit me. Like, it was kind of, if you're not at the front, you're at the back.
Yeah.
Super aggressive. And kind of had that Midwest mentality where it was always like Midwest versus the West versus California,
versus
Utah,
the world.
Colorado kids.
For sure.
And it ended up being almost a 2.5 month trip where I ended up walking racing worlds in Copenhagen and watching Cancellara and Cavendish duke it out up the hill, and it became this like beyond me. Like, I liked riding bikes, but all of a sudden it was like, running's not going to give me that. Running didn't take me to Copenhagen right now.
No, for sure.
So I fell in love, I think, at the beginning with traveling, and endurance sport was kind of a long parallel with that.
How cool.
And so it kind of from there went a little longer. I did 2 trips the next year in my junior year, and kind of just slowly accelerated to when I got a contract with BMC development team leaving high school.
How did that first Worlds race at 16 as national champion, how'd that go?
I think I finished like 43rd.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
Yeah. So but that's so neat. All right. And I really enjoy hearing that, the travel in parallel with the competition. And what an experience at that age. So do you remember the first place you went outside of Dexter on your own? That's kind of a weird question. In the U.S. or abroad? The first place that I traveled was, because I remember being angry about it, vividly angry about it. I was I got selected for a national talent ID camp out here in Colorado Springs, the Olympic Training Center. Yeah.
And I couldn't fly alone. I had to do the not unaccompanied minor. And I was so angry I had to be signed in and signed out. I was all excited for my trip alone, and some poor United woman had to pick me up, and I was angry at her for no reason. But it was an amazing trip, and I got to come out to the Springs and kind of show what I was worth and feel altitude. And I've loved, I think the beauty of the world for me has always been like, we all have experiences that are based on our parents, but also the place we live in.
Right.
And so you get to experience that in different places and how people interact and talk. And it's not always negative or positive. It's more just different.
What an amazing perspective. I think that's super. I agree with you. And it's a very unique thing to be grasping and recognizing, I think, and sharing with us. Yeah. That's super cool. Just looking at now actually, I'll follow up. The first place you went internationally alone, was that over there to Belgium, or was that?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Belgium. Yeah, the house. I got the end of the original Belgian house that USA Cycling used. It was in Isehem, Belgium, like an hour outside Brussels.
Yeah. Cool.
yeah, at that point, right, it was kind of it's the end of the Lance era, Taylor Phinney, all these people I'd like idolized, I'd gone through there.
I got through there. That's so neat.
Yeah. It's as a kid that age, it's you learn the different sides. You know, we'd wake up, you'd take your €3, you'd go to the bakery, you'd get a loaf of bread, you'd come back. It's like a different routine and way of life.
Right. Did it involve Nutella?
Oh, yeah. Some of it was hidden from the coaches, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So cool. And then, this is, you're road racing, you're finding yourself good at it. Is it like a strong magnet where you said that about like, this is where I'm going to be taking places, but is it a super strong magnet where you're just like, nope, this is priority number one, do everything I can at this age to continue and just protect this and do it for a long time?
I've thought about that a lot because I have a lot of parents ask me, especially now being in Boulder, very a bubble for sport. When do you push your kid? How much should they sacrifice? It didn't feel like a sacrifice at that point, right? That's the difference. Is I think when I was 16, 17, maybe moving into 18, 19, 20, I knew I made a choice, right? So I think the years I was in high school, when I was over in Europe for the first couple times, it was more experiences and like, oh, I'm good at this, or that didn't go well. How can I fix that?
Right.
Making the most of the time I had over there because it was fun. I think once I kind of went 18, 19 and I got paid a small stipend from BMC and I had made a choice to not go to college, there started to be obviously an understanding of like, if I want this to be a job, I have to put in the work for it to be a job.
Gotcha.
But it was a slow kind of climb the mountain acceleration toward where I got to.
Right.
And there was never a point where I felt like I was sacrificing things. Like I didn't feel like I was like, wow, I have to pick between walking with my class or doing this thing. I wanted to go race bikes. And if there was a time, I'd go see my friends. But it wasn't a decision like that. I get it.
It's fascinating. And it's also interesting that you get that question asked as far as pushing and that. So I'm just going to glean and go sideways from that. Your parents there was zero part of your parents that were pushing you or telling you do this, or was there some there?
No, there definitely was. They played both sides really well.
Did they? Okay.
I think, not to take this to any point that wasn't, but my grandfather, who had immigrated from the war, had obviously gone through a lot.
Yeah.
He didn't let my dad do any sport. He was super Catholic, and every sport happened on Sunday. And so he kept my dad from doing that and regretted it on his deathbed. But he brought this amazing thing that we would do together. And I think my dad wanted me to just understand that there were sacrifices being made beyond my enjoyment.
Right.
Like, them driving me to Massachusetts to do a race or anything else.
For sure.
So it wasn't, I think, pushing per se, but more of a like, make sure you understand what it takes to do these things. You want to go race in Vermont, that's awesome. You need to create, the itinerary, you need to book the flights, you need to set the alarms. So I think it's a good learning experience.
I think so.
My dad definitely pushed me to be the best version of myself. And my mom was the other side when I got too angry or too overwhelmed. I could go cry to mom and complain dad was mean. But I look back on it super fondly, as I wouldn't be where I am without my parents. And also my brothers. Like I think this is different where you grow up, but the Midwest is very close, right? And I'm really close with my brothers. And there was even a moment that my brother was 2 years younger than me, like we didn't always get along. It was a lot of like head to head.
Of course.
But there was a moment that, like I started shaving my legs and one of his friends came over and, walked in and was like making fun of me, and that kid got beat up. And when he walked into Rem's room, Rem would never protect me in front of me.
Right.
But he's, 100%. It's like that. I can make fun of my brother, but you can't make fun of my brother.
Of course. Yeah.
Which I always appreciated.
Yeah. Fiercest critic, but also fiercest protector or strong. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Yeah. So I enjoy that aspect where you said I don't want to dwell too much there, but it sounds like, from a standpoint of you were very driven internally, but your dad found a way to make you well-rounded and have responsibility around that and understanding of what their commitments were as well, right? I mean, is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, I think that word responsibility is the best way to put it, because it does. I think he just understood that if at 16, and I don't think he could foresee all of this, right? As a parent, I was the oldest child. He's learning with me, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
My youngest brother got it the easiest of all of us, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think my dad couldn't see ahead, but he was like, hey, if it were to be, if he's going to go to Europe by himself, which again, think about it as a parent, letting your 16-year-old, 15-year-old go to Europe by themselves is a big decision.
Yeah.
They pretty much put €700 in a wallet and said, have fun.
Yeah.
So I think he was kind of preparing for if any of this does work out, you need to be able to do it yourself.
Yeah.
You can't, it's not going to be a question of, do I need this? Do I need that? I definitely was lucky in a sense that like FaceTime was coming up.
Of course.
I had access more than
good,
people before
for
me
sure.
did.
Yeah, but still.
So I think he was always focused on like, what are the learning experiences inside of what we're doing?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And realistically too, you can look at that and realize how quickly and how easily you see this. I'm sure you've seen this personally and beyond, how easily you can go down the wrong side of that and have a very entitled, catered to, like incapable softy that's like, just in the same individual, just with different support.
Yeah. And that's, I think, the biggest thing is I point that out to parents who ask the question about fun or what focuses or sacrifices that a kid should make. And I kind of bring that up, that if you don't make the decisions or mistakes yourself, then you never figure it out. There's countless times I can mark off that, like, first time that I forgot my bag, right? We drove all the way to Massachusetts. Our neighbor had to overnight it. I paid that bill off for the next 3 snow shovelings,
You never did it again, though. Right.
No, never. And the bag was packed, but it sat at the door. My dad didn't grab it for me.
Yeah.
And, you can take that to when I was older and like, I had a state championship time trial the next day and decided to drink for the first time, you learn those mistakes yourself.
Yes.
And I think what I took as an athlete is that even now, if I want to do things that affect the routine, no problem, but wake up and keep the routine.
Yes.
I'm the first person to say I think this athletic hustle sometimes goes too far, but also believe in this mantra of like, shut up and work harder.
For sure.
And so it's finding that balance between what you're going to do and what you want and becoming kind of who you are. And if you're a parent, I look at that as like, my dad tried to find that 2 lines of like, I don't want to push my son to be something he doesn't want to be.
Right.
But also I want him to understand that if he wants that, it's now, not later.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Well done. Kudos to your pop and to you. I mean, because there's also, there's the necessary questioning and distancing that a young man makes from his parents. Yeah. And you're like, at that age, you have to. And so for you to play that really well also.
And I think just stepping in, I think it's also my whole family, right? I put this on, I bring this up to parents too, but like, my great aunt and my grandmother were incredibly helpful too.
Yeah,
like,
that's cool.
If I wanted to go on like my first time trial bike, like my parents were like, we can't buy that for you. It's a Scott, beautiful brand new frame that I probably paid retail for, found on eBay, and I paid my grandparents off for 3 years. My parents had nothing to do with it.
They helped out, yeah.
And it's the earning of the bike or the running shoes that you just don't get for free.
Fantastic.
That makes it special.
No, for sure. Well done. I mean, again, it's a team, and the family is a team in that regard, but it's a team and a collective effort.
Yeah.
So the awkward thing is we're going to have to bring your aunt, your brother, your mom, your dad. Everyone's have to come on the show.
Sounds great. I'll make it happen.
I call it a show like it's a very big endeavor, but it is a podcast, so we will have to get them involved and verify all these stories.
But I'll give you one thing is
please do.
There's a lot of podcasts in the world now, and I will always appreciate doing a podcast in person.
Oh, good.
You get to feel this energy and be a part of something, and like you're saying, meet somebody, learn somebody more.
Yeah.
I'm enamored by human nature, and I think
I see that.
COVID changed a lot for us. Zoom is very easy nowadays, but there's just something you lack, and you can't always be in person. But it's quite special to be able to sit on a couch and have a conversation for an hour, because how often do we do that nowadays? Yeah,
you're spot on. You're 100%. I agree with you. Thank you for saying that. And I'm glad you appreciate it as well, because it is for me. And like, there's all the things, everyone's told me that. Why don't you have me this? I'm here, I'm there. I'm like, nope. We'll just figure it out. If we can't do this, it sort of skirts half the point.
Yep.
Right.
And so, I think everyone does this, but like if I'm on a Zoom call and I get a text,
you're doing something else.
I'll be like, what's going on? Like,
I know.
It's hard not to.
It is hard not to. I know. And it's because, our world enables and then perpetuates our shorter attention or our focus or our inability. So I'm with you. Thank you. And also try and be aware, like you drove out here, I kept you waiting a little bit, and I'm going to, make you drive back. And so ultimately, I appreciate the time.
Yeah.
And so thank you. And let's do this. Okay, so we spent a lot of time, which is my favorite, on just some of the back and understanding you. I'm very curious. The life is also tough. I mean, it's like the travel is glamorous, but it's tough. Road racing is awesome and exciting, but it's tough. It's ultra competitive. There's decisions that have to be made at the highest level of how far you want to go, where you want to go, everything. So how did that, like when you're up there and you're in it, was it like surprising when you're, forced to make a decision or change? Or tell me about that, kind of just that upper end of the best you got.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to everyone tells you to set goals, right? That happens everywhere in your life.
For sure.
And as you get closer to your goal, whether it might be, whether it's, specifically like power-based or results-based or anything else, you start to get closer or accomplish things that you plateau on.
Right.
Like there's a point.
Fair.
There's actually a point where you're not actually going to get better power-wise, like watts per kilo.
Right.
Like not to take it to a scientific level, but you get to a place where it's just now you're playing with these minute details. You're at the top.
Yeah.
And you realize that there's a lot of people that are better.
Yeah.
And that's not a negative thing. You have to figure it out for yourself. So I think the pivotal point for me was leaving high school, choosing to kind of try racing.
Right.
So I deferred college for a couple of years, spent 3 years at BMC development, and got lucky enough to make that jump to the World Tour.
Right.
With, at the time, was Lotto and now Jumbo. Now Jumbo Visma. And absolutely loved my time there.
Yeah.
I think when I signed at 21, which is super young and probably 1 year too early.
Right.
I think I thought, okay, here's the next 15 years of my life. This can be fun. I made it. Awesome. Because I'd grown up with, maybe one person every 5 to 10 years made it. Right? 10 years is probably dramatic. Probably every 5 years at the time. But like Lawson Claddock and Nathan Brown had gone above me. They were like 3-4 years ahead of me. And no one had gone for, a couple of years.
Right.
And so when you make it, you feel like it's your only chance to go and take it. And so when I made it to that top level, I just kind of realized there were things missing that I hoped would exist in my life for that period of time. If I was going to dedicate 15 years of my life, I wanted to be able to access this community that existed that brought me up to this place.
Right.
I want to be able to give back and talk to people. And
oh my gosh.
You realize the top level of sport, there's reasons for it, but like if it's a sponsor, they don't want 28 different riders. They want one answer going to that sponsor.
Okay.
And so I didn't get to interface with any of the sponsors like I hoped. I wanted to come back to the U.S. and help Bianchi grow, for example.
Interesting.
Or if it's a fan, you get the interview goes through the PR company for the team and then over, and they pick the riders that fit best for that. And so it wasn't bad. Just like it was just racing.
Yeah.
And I very quickly realized like I loved racing and that was a passion for me, but that I believed the value I really had to any person it might be, and as well myself, was that I love talking to people. I love interacting,
yes,
and
cool.
that was never going to exist in the World Tour. And that's remembering also, like at the same vein, that I was not the Remco, the Nielsen Powless. I think I could have been good, but not that. I was not going to be good.
Right. Okay.
And I think as you grow as an adult, you learn where your balance is inside of that.
Yeah. Fair.
And so I was just figuring out what I wanted to do, and I think.
Wow.
I made a lot of rash decisions and kind of expected things to last longer than they did. I don't think I really planned to leave the World Tour after 2 years.
Okay.
But it kind of happened in a way that is just, it worked out perfectly, right? Gravel grew in this time that I came back, and I've kind of gotten very lucky that the exact racing that fits best for me grew out of this place.
Yes.
Post-COVID that was not planned.
Right. Okay. And is that just to orient around a year? That was your last year on the World Tour was what year?
2017.
17, and then you went into what?
Kind of like 2018, 19. I thought I would. I thought I wanted to go and become a World Cup mountain bike racer.
Right. Okay.
And I kind of realized that was not me at all very quickly. And so 2019 started focusing on endurance events here. Okay. But cool. I kind of told myself like 2019 is going to be me figuring it out.
Sure.
If these things work, then awesome. If they don't. And had some success. As the first year I won Iceman, which was just like as a Michigan kid in a Michigan race, was just like a tears homecoming.
Amazing. I know.
And so it kind of just go ahead.
No, go. I love this.
It kind of just like it just floated around. I feel like I did my first Belgian Waffle Ride. I kind of figured out what is this endurance sport in the U.S. and is there a place to make a living over here, or should I go to school? Okay. Because originally when I was going to school, I wanted to go pre-med, which is not an easy choice, right? No. To go back, you're saying I had 8 years. Of your life, and it's a big choice. And I think so I eventually just kind of settled into this place and kind of tried to find where or how I could grow what I wanted to do, which was I think in very, very dramatic terms, I'm an entertainment salesman, like
right. Well,
I get to do what I love, But the reality is, it's a conversion at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to hide that Envy pays me money.
Exactly.
It's a build, you know?
Yeah, it's a build. No, and you do a nice job with it. I mean, one of the things that kind of just popped in my brain, I left this off the stat. You've won Leadville. I mean,
second.
Second in Leadville. Okay, yeah, second. I was like, trying to comb the memory brains. Very close.
Yeah.
And you've done that how many times?
I finished second, fourth at Leadville, so I never won it
twice.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, there's still time.
Yeah.
But that's neat. I mean, it's just again, some of these events, like the Iceman isn't one that hits on everybody's radar. Mm-hmm. But like if you're a non-mountain biker or a non-endurance enthusiast, you would know of Leadville, even if it's just vaguely. Like there's certain events. Belgian Waffle Ride is one that in our sport, it's like, oh my gosh, that was one of the first ones I looked at. I was like, holy smokes, they're doing cool stuff in that dirt space.
Yep.
So okay, and now and I think I remember as I listened to a couple of these stories and talking to your gal here, talking to Sophie, you're in Michigan. That's where you right, and you guys decided to move out here kind of in 2020.
2020. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the person. We had a quick conversation upstairs before I walked down, but I'm not the person to waste money. And so when I stopped racing, I was living at home with my parents again, which is really weird for a kid that moved out very easily at 18. I moved to Europe at 18, and I was like, thanks. And then at 24, I was like, hey, I'm back. You mind if I crash here for a second?
You got space?
Yeah, and so my parents did a great job, like never saying like, hey, pay rent, but like understanding that there had to be goals, the same as my dad had said before. Now it's just different.
So good.
And so when I met Sophie, she was finishing her master's at University of Michigan, which was less than 15 minutes from where my parents were. And we'd actually kind of laughed about the amount of time we crossed paths. Like I went to race Tour Down Under in Adelaide, where she grew up.
Oh, yeah.
And she watched in 2017 when I was racing there.
Yeah,
she was watching the race happen.
Oh, man.
But we didn't know each other at all. And so as she was finishing, and then obviously COVID happened, and there's this kind of whole push for where are you going to be, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
and,
of course.
And also space, right? For the first time, that was the most time.
That's true. That's
an endurance athlete I've ever taken off. I didn't think about training. I just enjoyed riding my bike.
Right. Yeah.
And so, we moved out here in the end of 2020, kind of sight unseen to an apartment. And Sophie needed to be close for her green card to an office, and Wahoo had built an office out here.
That's right.
And so it was kind of a good reason and a good push for me to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And
had you been here before the sight unseen? Like, had you ever traveled through in all your racing?
I'd been here for 4 days for a skills clinic at one point.
For who?
Lee McCormick.
And where'd you ride? Where'd you do?
Falmouth, went to Winter Park.
Gosh. Nice. Okay, so you'd been here, but really just a taste, a little.
You could drop in. You go to Avery Brewing.
Yeah. Okay.
You go to Bar Taco. You get around. And I remember, I'm a very written person. I had a journal. I wrote down my favorite places in Boulder, but I never thought it'd be a place I live. I think at just that point, I was like, oh, that was a fun pass through, and that's a bubble.
That's a bubble, which it is, and that's why we have a podcast around the bubble. Almost called it that, the bubble. With that, do you remember on those notes what your favorites were at the time? Because it's a different era. I mean, it was years ago, but
no, I should have brought it. It's definitely different nowadays.
For sure, we'll come to that. But
I forget. There was one restaurant we went to. Oh, Rincon Argentino.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that I was like, we don't have empanadas it's not a place in Ann Arbor that I'm like, that's where I go for empanadas.
With a proper Argentino.
And now I feel like once a year I'll randomly stop on a ride and just eat myself full of empanadas.
I do love that. Yeah. And that, Christian, this is one of my fun things is I'm going to actually reach out. I know they were... they're a family that used to be at my kid's school.
No way.
And so anyway, I know the owner, and I'm gonna see if he'll come on. We'll do a little podcast.
I love that.
They're good, and we did a business profile with them. I think they're so authentic. They're so good. And then the World Cup, there was every single person that had a tie to Argentina was in that building, and it's just bursting. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, this is fun. So you guys moved here end of 2020, and pretty well sight unseen. You are figuring out life. You're figuring out space from your sport, space from other people, and brand new, determined, capable, strong-willed partner. Dog. How did that go? Was it all sunshine, or was there tears? Was there fights? What was it like the first couple weeks? Do you remember?
I think there's always a little bit of something. I mean, I'd say the tension was more during COVID. Sophie's release ended. Again, I'm not one for wasting money. We'd only been dating 3 or 4 months, and she moved in with my parents.
So, because you're like, this is practical.
I'm not
going to get an apartment.
Yeah. I mean, why would you rent an apartment you want to move out to Colorado anyway? You just can't now.
Yeah.
And that probably, as anyone can imagine, moving in with a 24-year-old and now his new girlfriend is probably not the best choice to start a relationship. But it worked out. You figure things out really quickly.
You do.
I've always been someone just that I would rather move in with someone than have a conversation like, hey, this isn't working, and move out.
Right.
Because you learn so much about that person.
Yes.
And so, that, and then the kind of the drive, planning, moving out to Boulder was big. At the time, it was quite irresponsible. I was not making enough money to move out here and pay the prices in Boulder.
I'll give you a knuckle bump.
But that's all. That's all the build, right? Of understanding where you are.
Of course.
And I kept making jokes all the time, like, I got my sugar mama. Sophie's working hard,
Right.
And so Sophie's always been on here, but she's an ITU triathlete.
Yeah.
The big goal was making the Olympics, and there was obviously sub goals up to that. But I moved out here 2020. I think it was a big push for both of us to kind of be on our own and figure out who we are and what we wanted to do. And it slowly grew. I mean, that COVID was great because I as a rider, I think Sophie had no understanding of what riding was. Right. So, I mean, one of our first rides, I remember telling her, like, I have a VO2 workout. She's like, cool, I'll sit on your wheel. And I was like, that's not how that works. But, and she was like, it dropped.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, whoa, like biking, you can be like fast. She just grown up as a triathlete. She rode down the same road every day, did her workouts.
Exactly.
And during that time, we did our first 100-mile ride together, our first 200K together. She did a gravel race, Belgian Waffle Ride, Utah, at the end of 2020.
Oh my gosh.
So it just grew, right? It was really cool together.
That's neat.
There's definitely tears, definitely happy tears sometimes. End of that gravel race. Sophie says she didn't, but she had some happy tears going down. And then just learning and growing together. It was pretty cool.
It is super cool. Yeah. And I feel, whatever, I'll put my spin on that, but it seems like it was a good place to go through that together. Yeah. Like, I mean, I think, right, part foundational, contributory. It's like you're getting a lot out of an environment, I think, like Boulder Valley in those formative, for you as a couple, formative years.
Yeah. The access in Boulder is special. I think that what I talked about, things being different, is for me, there's an athletic hustle in Boulder. It doesn't exist in Michigan.
Okay.
In Michigan, everyone wants to stop you and have a conversation for the next 30 minutes. The Midwest goodbye takes forever. Here, it's like if there's not a set meeting, sometimes I feel like I had to stop. I had to get over people being like, hey, bye.
Hi, bye, yeah.
Because it's just they have something next planned. They have planned their day, and it's not negative or against who I am. Yeah. So I got over that, and then also I think just working through how we kind of move forward together, because like I said, I didn't have a plan really. I moved out here, followed Sophie, and then it was like, hey, what are these steps where we can do these things together, and you accomplish your goals as a triathlete and mesh them together. We spent a lot of time, like we had to spend a lot of time on the bike together. And that was really special because those moments where you're suffering, you're going to be angry, you're going to be happy, you're going to be sad. All of the emotions exist inside that moment.
Well, the neat thing here also, and you just shoot me down if I'm wrong, but you guys understand, at that time, and still, you fully understand what one another's going through. Yeah. So you understand the importance of being gone on the bike for 6 hours. You also understand the effects of that and being tired and not being, energized to socialize or what. You understand each other, right? I mean, you guys were on the same path and pattern, right? Yeah.
Sophie's drive and passion for what she does is intoxicating.
That's cool.
But it's funny. Like I'm a planner, if you haven't figured that out yet. Yeah. And I was very sure I was not going to date an athlete and not going to date a middle child, and Sophie is both. And it's just a reminder of like, it's easy to plan. Things don't always work out how you plan in your head for better. But it's just those little things that you realize are special, right? I don't have to explain to Sophie I'm going to be gone for 6 hours for a ride.
Exactly.
Which anyone else, they're like, oh, you can just put that off till tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
that's not how this works.
Yeah, you don't have a job. You don't have a job like that. You can do it whenever. Yeah. Same for sure. I get. Yeah.
So and even Sophie's parents, when she first introduced Sophie, I didn't meet her parents for 2.5 years because of COVID. They're in Australia.
Can't get there.
And I think multiple times I heard on FaceTime. So what does he do? So he races bikes, Mom. He makes money. So what's his real job? He makes money racing bikes?
Yeah. Is he just like riding past people, handing him dollars and stuff? Yeah. Okay. And this, I'm gonna pop in here with often I like to say when I first interact, I'll say this is not a unique story. People are probably telling you this all the time, but I very vividly remember driving down Iris, and I pulled up at the light there at Broadway, and I'm in my car and I doing something with my work, and middle of the day, and I look over, and there you're sitting on your bike, standing on your bike, you know what I mean? Yep. You're on your bike, so is Sophie, and you've got Sir Willy, the wiener dog. You've got the dog on your back in a proper, now folks that are trying to picture this, you'll look it up online if you haven't seen this. It's a proper backpack that is meant for holding dogs while exercising. I mean, right?
Yep. It's got a collar so you can't jump out. You've got little armholes.
For sure. It's not just I had a dog in a JanSport many years ago. It's not that. No. This is so I look over and I roll down the window and I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah, thanks. Where are you guys going? Because I honestly am expecting, are they going to say they're riding to Spruce or for a coffee, or they're riding to the Ideal Market? And you say, we're actually going to Batasso. I think it might have been Sunshine like that, right? Yeah. But either way, and I said, wait, you're going on a proper ride? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, that's amazing. Have fun. See you later. Light changes. You guys ride off. Yep. And so, again, I don't think that's unique. You had that encounter a million times. But for me, I was like, this is the first time you kind of go like, they're proper. And then I found out later down the road, like, it's proper. This is an Olympian. This is a professional cyclist. This is like legit stuff here. I almost said the S word. Can't let my kids hear that. Really cool. Yeah. Like, what brought that about and why and how much fun is that?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, that's all to Sophie. Going back to what we said in the beginning, Sophie's dog, it was a probably irresponsible purchase. First purchase out of college with a real big girl job. Didn't have a car, so she bought a backpack with the dog, and so she commuted around Michigan with the dog. And then as we started dating and COVID was around, when she went for a run, I'd go with her. I'd meet her with Willy. I'd ride beside her while she ran. Do a track workout with her with Willy on my back. And then slowly we just progressed. If we went riding together, maybe I had 3 hours, she had 1 hour. So I'd ride out to a trail, I'd meet her, I'd take Willy for that hour, I'd him back. And the dog just loves it. It's never stopped.
But realistically, you can tell he loves it. I mean, he loves what? The attention, the air? What does he love?
I think the air in his ears. Like it's putting your head out the window, but it's, perfect. And the smells and, so his longest ride to date, 7.5 hours.
Oh my gosh! And did he have to get off of break?
Like every 90 minutes, 2 hours. I hey, stretch your legs, get out. But that's probably the benefit of having a dog with small legs is he can pretty much stretch out in there. So.
He's already stretching. He's always stretching. Oh my gosh! All right, and so it is fun. You get a lot of fame around it. He's probably got a huge. What's his following up to roughly on Instagram?
35,000.
Far more than most of us. And so he's got a great account. One day I was at 47th and J, and I looked over and I saw him on someone else's back. So
that was weird for you, I'm sure.
It was a little weird.
Yeah.
I was like, have you stolen them? And they're like, oh, they're out of town. And he was actually it was great because there was this individual who was just jazzed. He's like, it's amazing. I get to ride with Willy. Yeah.
And it's crazy when you ride with a dog. All of I think in the world everyone's having different versions of a day.
Yes.
And so you ride past someone too fast on a bike path, or you scare someone on an accident. Dogs fix it all.
That's it.
If you ride past someone
that's it.
With a dog on your back, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I swore at you. That's really cute. Can I take a picture of my grandson? It's
totally.
It's a great equalizer, which is sometimes great because no one's trying to ruin other people's days, or most people aren't. And so I'm not when I'm on a bike path. And sometimes it's people see it and they're like, whoa.
That's neat. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I meant to tell you to bring him because Sophie said, "Oh, I should buy him I've got dogs. It'd probably be hard to listen and focus, but
he'd be sleeping.
He'd be asleep. It'd be hard for me to focus. He'd be pro. But you know what else is neat too, and this is what you started to say something too. Everyone's having a day. There's also something like very few people are going to see you out and not have a smile put on if you're in traffic or if you're grumbling, whatever's going on.
Yep.
It'd make a good day better, make a bad day good. I mean, it's just a neat thing to see.
Yeah, I think I know that too. I think it's one of the reasons I like riding with him because I'm a very glass half full person. Yeah. Like, it's very hard to make me annoyed at the world.
Yeah, good.
And that you see that on people's faces, right? Yeah. It's no one's trying to do anything. It's just pointing and smiles and kind of questioning of like, what? That's cool.
Yeah. Did I just see that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. All right, this is awesome. And I want to look here because I forgot to start the watch. I can't read that.
44.
Anymore. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Young eyes. So anyway, we'll okay. And coming to a little bit of sort of some more in town, some action. Yep. Sir Willy's a big part of your life. Bike racing. I want to go there. You did hit the wave really well to where gravel and endurance riding and dirt stuff has taken off.
Yep.
Tell us about that now. Like, what's your day to day? How do you make the dollars for Sophie's for your in-laws?
Yeah, I mean, so it kind of grew. I think the biggest support of that was Lifetime coming in and creating a series, an off-road series in the U.S. that was, very not selfish, right? Like, I think most promoters of any event, it's about trying to break even.
Yeah.
Which is not, there's no harm against that. It's the way the world works.
Yeah.
Lifetime has come in as a multi-billion-dollar company that sees value in its endurance events and trying to get its people who pay for a club access outside.
Oh my gosh.
Which I think is really cool. And so cool. When you build an off-road series off of that around iconic races like Leadville and now Unbound, it's had this access point that allows non-endemic companies to kind of be interested in sport again. Not because of cycling or skinny tires or XYZ, because it's people getting outside.
So good.
And that's kind of grown and allowed kind of this growth of the sport again in the U.S., which I think it's always been a European sport. We talk about me going over at a young age. And now there's a pathway to make a living in the U.S. racing a bike, which is very much based around off-road racing and companies seeing value in enough people buying bikes.
Okay.
To do that. And so it's kind of that axis of like, what is your personality that didn't happen on the road for me? And who are you as a bike racer? Are you getting enough results? And so it's that kind of weird balance point that I feel like I've hit really well, along with being lucky at the timing and Lifetime and Belgian Waffle Ride, all these things growing. And then just love talking to people, right? I think that's the beauty of this is I'm not actively trying to be like, oh, you need an envy tomorrow.
Right.
It's more that there's this partnership of trust now, right? That if you sign with a brand for a long time, which is very personality-based, not team-based, you're sharing that trust as a person. If someone knows me, well, if Alexey works with a brand and they're nice to him, they're probably a nice brand, right? Cool. That face of what you're doing, which I think is kind of the real way athletics should work.
I agree.
You know, I look at someone like, I've had this access to a lot of triathletes based on Sophie, and I've come to really enjoy, you know, something like if Taylor Knibb posts something, I'm interested in it.
Right.
Not only because of the athlete she's an incredible athlete, right? Better than I'll ever be. But at the same time, it's her enjoyment of working with those companies that excites me because of the person she is. She's organic and real and giggly, right? And that's what I want to associate with. Right? You can say the same thing about Kate Courtney, that what she does is exciting. So, and I think it's trying to find that line of why and how is that athlete working with those companies? And then trying to, you know, someone is looking for a gravel bike and it's not their first bike, maybe envy's the right choice, you know, and that's, I think, the great example of what I try to do.
So good. Well, very well said. And I think that in the end, in a very, you know, hacked up way of saying it, you're a genuine person. And so that right there is just something that we want to be a part of. And like you really, I mean, I think so. And what you're saying about, you know, about Taylor, like she's very genuine. She's not coming with a canned answer.
No.
She's coming with genuine Taylor, and you're the same. And so then in the end, you're not going to, and then sort of off camera, you know, we're going to talk about stuff that doesn't work for you. And you're not going to slander, but you're going to say, hey, you know what, this doesn't really feel good to me. And we believe you. You know, we believe you, and we want to, you know, so that's, I think you're doing a fantastic job navigating that.
I appreciate that. I think it's exactly what you're saying is it's being comfortable with kind of this understanding that it doesn't fit for everybody, and that's totally fine, right? I'm not, if you try to walk around selling everybody on something, we are, the world of content and social media, we're all done being sold, right? And that's easy to say, but it's that moment to actually have a conversation about something that then they can go home with a little more education and decide, like, is this worth the extra money that it costs to support this rider or supporting this company?
For sure. And and when I think that somehow because of a lot of this getting off course or off the rails, sales and being sold has become has so many negative connotations, and salesman has been something you don't want to associate with. But in the end, what I honestly believe is if your job is to sell something and you believe in it, then it's great. It should be applauded. And when do you ever get the call and they're like, hey, Alexey, you know, this is not a sales call. If you ever pick those up, I mean, I pick them up because I like to judge people and I like to contribute and critique. I like to talk. I'm, you know, but when they say this is not a sales call, I've actually told the person, I'm sorry, you're starting on the wrong foot because you've already lied to me. I'd rather you say this is a sales call. Here's why, right? And so in the end, we should be more. If you're more genuine, you believe in what you're doing. You believe in what you're doing. And so I believe in you.
No, it's so true, and I think that's just it's learning this, right? I think so. Having not gone to college, I've still never gone to college. That transition to being a quote unquote privateer, having my own sponsors that moved me from the road. I got lucky with kind of the growth of this new industry. But at the same time, I've been able to like really focus on learning. Because now I get to learn business, and I don't have an agent purposely. I want to do it all myself. I want to learn through it. I want to make mistakes. When you're able to have that conversation and realize the same thing that you try to teach your kids about the value of money and when to spend it and when not to. I get to do that for myself. When someone asks you, what are you worth? That's a crazy question.
Yes.
And you get to, it's ambiguous, right? The same as the value of a house here versus Michigan versus Iowa.
Right.
And so I love that connection of why is something worth something to somebody. Yeah. And in the same vein, bringing content into it, I always have this conversation of like randomly posting and blowing up people's phones is not better.
Yeah, that's not the goal.
It's attached to your personality, right? I can post a reel with Willy. Like we have one right now that has 30 million views. You can't tell. Envy is not benefiting from that.
Right.
It's on an Envy bike.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
There's no conversion or goal from that.
Totally.
But possibly there's 1% of those people, if not less, who are interested in what I'm doing. Right. With Willy. Yeah. And maybe 1% of that 1% are interested in cycling. And maybe 1% of that 1% might buy a bike. Yeah, and are buying. Yeah. But if Envy sees it just as the conversion value, that's my point of saying both ways. Of okay, so you need me to get on and like talk about this one product in one way. Well, that's not the way I use it, so what? It doesn't work. Understood.
This is what's super cool, and I just sort of had all of a sudden like this leap into the future, and I can see one of the things you keep saying. I didn't go to college. I didn't do this. You've learned so much, and you have an appetite to learn more, and you have a grasp on some really incredible tenets of business and of all of that. Like you would be at some point an amazing mentor, or you maybe already are, but like you would have a very great like formal role as someone guiding people, teaching. Like, guess what? When your dad didn't pick up your bag, then you learned it was sitting at the door. It's the same thing. You're going through that now and learning. You have that. That's innately you, and to be able to then teach that and share that, it's massive. I mean, there's huge opportunity there to help other people be better and grow and learn. I mean,
I'm trying, because I think that's the biggest issue in the Lifetime Grand Prix right now in the series that I do is it's very focused on myself and Keegan and Sophia, the people winning. Yeah. And if you grow a sport, it's very easy for it to kind of kill itself in a sense where like, I'm 30. Yeah. I want to race for 3-5 more years. Yeah. But when I graduate, who's taking up that throne of and I think that's, when Keegan and I move on and stop being at the front of these races, or Matt Beers, or anyone else it might be, you need the young kids, right? For sure. And that's a focus that I bring up with a conversation with Envy when I work with them. It's a conversation I spend on myself, because that mentor side of it, it's easy to say you want to mentor, but it takes time. It takes time.
And it's massively time consuming, but energy consuming. Yeah. You have to have the appetite for that. And but I think you're well set for it. And so a little bit of, I could talk about this for another, at least another 6 minutes. No, really, I could go with that, but I want to go to this, just fun stuff. What is the absolute bet? You just bring one race, and then there's a second place, but what's the best race you ever did for whatever reason? Just like something you love so much.
I'm biased, but Iceman. Paint the picture for you. 6,900 racers, I think, this year over all the categories. Yeah. It's a party in the woods. It's point to point. You don't know what the weather's going to be. There's drum sets. There's drinking. It's just a great time. It's the best finish all year.
Tell me where it is, when it starts. What they give everyone a taste of
First weekend of November. Okay. Traverse City, Michigan. Yeah. You could theoretically ride a gravel bike, but it's a mountain bike race. Okay. Okay. And it's just it's 4 hours from where I grew up, which I think makes it more special. Yeah. But it's 34 years old. It's been around for a while, it's pretty cool.
And what's the best version of that for you? Best edition, best episode, best chapter, when? What?
Proper Michigan weather. We haven't had it in a while, but a little bit of snow, 30 degrees, make you question your sanity.
Can you think of one of the an actual 2000 whatever?
2019, the first year I won, was muddy, and I got emotional, crying across the finish line. It's just it was all good. And it was weird. In that moment, I was very at peace with the athlete I became. It was a weird moment. It was like I made it to the World Tour. I didn't really feel that. When I won Iceman, kind of as this race I'd known about growing up as a cyclist, that was adjacent to what I was doing. It's not road biking at all. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's enough.
Mic drop moment there. Yeah. So good. And do you, that's pretty cool. When you were there, who was with you? I'm just curious, there when you come across the line, is it?
I mean, my family was there.
Everyone,
I randomly, actually, my friends had come up to watch.
So good.
It's also just like even people that had been adjacently around you the whole time.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite stories is learning when I was, 18 to 25. I don't know when I learned, but I used to always think that randomly when I got dropped on the local group ride in Ann Arbor, that other people got dropped too. Turns out, my dad would leave me and he'd say like, hey man, if Alexey gets dropped, you make sure he's safe. So like it's like 5 or 6 people would get dropped the same time as me. This 13-year-old kid, and, turns out they're all looking after the young kid.
And
but it's pretty special.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Oh wow. Okay, cool. What's a race that you so that's good. That's a great story. What's the race that you this is kind of low blow. Where would you never go back to? Is there one race you're just like, oh,
it's not a low blow. I think I'd go back in a different sense. Unbound 200 is rough.
So rough. Yeah. Okay.
It's it's way longer than I would love riding my bike.
Yep.
I'm a big, I'll race really hard for 6 hours, 6.5. You start putting me in a 7 to 10 and I'm like, okay, this is a different game.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back and do the Unbound 100 or even see what it's like to do an ultra and do a 350.
Yeah.
But I want to just experience it and move on, as opposed to something that it just takes a lot of focus and time.
Yeah.
And I'd compare it to the biggest I can understand. The most I can understand an Ironman is probably Unbound 200. A lot has to go right for the day to go right.
And so much can go wrong.
Yes, very easily.
It exposes everything. Okay. And that's cool. I mean, and for folks that don't know, this is in Kansas. Yep. Pretty much the entire state.
Yeah. It's massive. Biggest gravel race in the world.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay. And then this is just a little bit of this, not necessarily rapid fire, but as you look at what's coming up, you said you were leaving here soon. Where do you go? What's kind of the next couple months and the next 8 months look like for you?
Yeah. First off, I'm going to take that moment to plug my favorite. All the young riders ask me what's the best thing I should do. Yeah. Take a real off season.
Okay.
Like a proper off season.
Tell me what that means.
I don't touch a bike for 4 weeks.
4 weeks, zero bike.
And it doesn't need to be 4 weeks. You should need to be back on it. Force yourself to do 2 weeks, because I always say that 1 week you're not really taking a break.
No.
2 weeks you start to understand it. And past 2, if you're itching to get back on the bike, get back on and ride a little bit.
Okay.
So no, I'm mid off season right now.
Good for you.
Probably 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks in. We're going back to Michigan to see my family for Thanksgiving, which is exciting.
Yes.
And then come back here for 10 days, 2 weeks, and then we get to go to Australia, which is a great way to start riding my bike again.
Good, yeah.
So we'll go see Sophie's family, and I'll kick off kind of the season of riding, and kind of figure out what exactly next year looks like. A lot of the off season for me is time, on a computer, figuring out
planning
both partners, but also race season, booking things.
That's exciting.
It's a fun kind of merry-go-round. I actually really enjoy it.
It is, for sure.
Find a balance.
It's good that you enjoy it, because if you don't, and you're almost 30, right? 30 this coming month.
31
is coming. So you turn. Okay, I knew it was coming up here. Google searching you and stuff like that.
It's funny. I haven't felt old since 25. 25 was a pivotal year. I felt like I was old.
Aged, yeah.
And I'm sure I'll feel it again at some point here. But it's kind of just been this kind of growth of I think that's a beautiful part about being an athlete, is that you set goals that are lofty but also achievable.
There you go.
And so you feel like you're moving forward and progressing.
Yeah.
As opposed to just I think when people say set goals, you try to get motivated off a YouTube video or whatever else. You're like, I'm going to change my life.
Yeah.
That kind of new year, new me mentality, which ends. It falters at some point.
Okay.
Consistency is really tough, but as an athlete, you're forced to do it.
Yes.
So I think it's that whole circle around, since 25, I think I found kind of a step in every year where I can point and be like, wow, that was cool. I didn't think I'd do that.
That's cool. That is cool.
Special.
Good rhythm. No, keep doing that. That's all. I love that. I think, again, that space of the off season, you can really center yourself around that. Well, before I take the entire day, so we don't know the whole season. We know a little bit of the same, some fun stuff. We'll get to follow you. Just for folks that are tuning into your story for the first time, what's your social media and what's your website and what's your podcast?
Yeah. So at Alexey Vermeulen, it's Alexey, and then V as in Victor, Ermeulen.
Super easy.
That's pretty much for everything. Probably, I'm definitely most active on Instagram.
Yep.
I have multiple YouTube channels. I have a YouTube channel with my friend Avery in Boulder here, moved out from Michigan with me, and it's personality based. It's a lot of cycling adjacent.
Okay.
We go to races together, but it's kind of about who we are and what we do, and his love for photography and creativity. And
fun.
my love for riding.
Check that out.
And then we have a project called From the Ground Up, quite sadistic. We take everyday people to Leadville. That one is questionable. The goal is pretty much what's the most crazy thing you can do. and learn throughout your way of doing that. And the last one is a podcast I started this year with Keegan, which is very recap focused, all the Grand Prix races and a couple others, digging behind the scenes of what it takes, from the bike setup to planning for the race to being overwhelmed to having it not go your way. We sit down, 20 to 30 minutes after the race and just hash it out as friends. So it's a good mix.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Good. And just knowing the stuff I've followed and seen you on, you're so good at it and dynamic, and you're very smart, think on your feet and expressive. So I love that. Folks, find that stuff. Okay, lateral. We're talking about Boulder a little bit and how you interact with the county. And again, I could probably spend another hour, but I promise not to. If you're just entertaining, we'll say it this way: if you're entertaining someone, you want to show them your favorite version of Boulder for an outsider too. So it can be, and I'll give you a little time to think. It could be someone
I'm ready.
You ready? Go.
Okay, someone comes into town. I love my food. So we'll probably go for a bike ride. If we're going on gravel bikes, we'll kind of go out in Boulder open space, probably maybe go over Yoder if we want to make it a little techie.
Okay.
If we're going mountain bikes, probably take them all the way up to Walker Ranch.
Okay, you'll ride there. You'll ride up there.
Yeah.
Make them go Flagstaff or
up Chapman.
Up Chapman, keep going, yep. Okay.
And then I usually, Corrida's a little expensive for me, my taste, but you can go great drinks up there. You can go to Gin and Tonic, see the beautiful view of the Flatirons. And one of my favorites has been recently Oak on 14th. It's also expensive, but they have a great steak you can share.
Okay.
And it's even for me, it fills me up. So it's a good mix of everything.
Yeah. The days of having the appetite you still have. I love. So the people said you miss racing. Nope, but I sure miss the appetite I had. I could eat a lot of food. Okay, so that's the entertainment. That's like, here's your taste of Boulder. If we go, this is a bit adjacent to that. If you were going to plan, now this is any time of year, perfect. And if you have a meeting, you just tell me you got to go.
You're good.
Perfect day. So Alexey's perfect day, and you can invite, and this is a little different because it's you and Sophie, it's you and Willy, it's you alone, it's a combination thereof, it's your buddy Alex, you said, anyone, and it can be winter, spring, summertime, fall, and you're just going to be like, you know what? Everything that I maybe normally do, maybe I'm incorporating it, maybe I'm scratching it, but you just have a blank slate, no commitments, no podcasts, and you're going to go out. What would it look like? Which trails, which restaurants, which coffee shops? I mean, I'm trying to lob it up there.
No, I think I'd probably do a coffee tour.
What time of year?
I'm a big fan of Oof.
Yeah, just lay it
fall.
What time? Are you early riser? I want to hear details.
Depends on the day. Okay. Now at off season, no alarms.
Perfect day in your favorite time of year.
Perfect day, say like at 8:20 wake up.
Okay,
it's a little late, but you're not missing the day.
Yep.
Pretty much get up and get out pretty quick. Out by 9:30. It's probably going to be on a bicycle somewhere, but I always love kind of creating a route that's based upon coffee shops or breweries or something like that. 9:30, let's start at a coffee shop, not a brewery.
I like it. Which one?
Get around. This is the thing that's hard with Boulder. Not to shoot anybody down, but I don't think we have a coffee shop that does both pastries and coffee very well.
Okay, so you got to do two.
Spruce, best croissant. Probably go there for breakfast.
Yeah.
Maybe get a chai or something, start it off.
Okay.
And then from there, go somewhere I think does better coffee, maybe somewhere downtown. I like January.
Okay.
And then maybe Charmaine's for lunch.
Oh, nice. Are you still on the bike?
Yes, we're getting around. And then we're eventually going to end up at probably like an Avery Brewing for some lunch. After Charmaine's, double lunch, like you start with appetizers, end with appetizers.
Yes.
And then probably Gold Hill. We'll finish, let's say we're done with the ride now, we've done our little coffee tour, maybe a couple beers, go home, relax for a minute, and I think Gold Hill at night is pretty special.
Very cool. That's fun. And who do you take with you? Who's a couple of drag-alongs?
I don't know, probably people that, probably not bike racers. I have enough bike racers in my life.
Yeah. Okay, that's fun.
Maybe let's just make it fun. My brothers.
Yeah, your brothers.
Two very different.
Oh, cool.
You can play some euchre up in Gold Hill.
Yeah.
Find a little bit of everything. And my brother wouldn't want to ride that much anyway. So
yes, that's so fun. If I thank you for sharing that. And if it wasn't obvious, I was basically trying to get you to invite me. No big deal.
You got to make that more obvious.
Since you didn't,
I didn't catch that, or maybe I'm not stupid.
No, it wasn't at all. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna do that. Listen, this is awesome. I feel like and I know you didn't read the outline, which is you're my kind of guy. Is there anything that you were thinking, hey, I figured we'd talk about this and we didn't, Lovato dropped the ball here, that you would love to share or bring up?
No, I think the one thing that's special about Boulder is it's easy to come in, and I think I'm more trying to relate this to what you do. When I came into Boulder, I didn't really know Boulder's very separated, right? Like in Ann Arbor, growing up, there's a football game. Ann Arbor has the biggest national football stadium in the country still. It takes over the town.
Yeah.
Living in North Boulder, I don't know if football game's happening in South Boulder.
Interesting.
And so I think it's so interesting of where you can live and how you live and what you do can affect how you want to do it. South Boulder's amazing for running. I don't go down there very much on a bike. Unless I'm going to visit Marshall Mesa or go to Golden. Mm-hmm. And I think there's that, it's really special to kind of, you can pick a place you want to live based upon the access you want to the outdoors.
So true.
The only thing we got to build here is more lakes, man. I miss the fresh water from Michigan.
I know. Well, your lakes are better. We have a couple of retention ponds.
Yeah, I'm not as much into that, but I get skiing now. I didn't grow up skiing, so.
Yeah. Oh, as in downhill skiing, as in
or
cross
country,
or cross country,
cross country.
Uphill,
you might get a couple days if you go to northern Michigan, or you wait until January, February.
And and I know Sophie's like gone full. I mean, Sophie's gone full like adventure.
Yeah.
I mean, she's done ultra. She's doing uphill skiing. She's doing it all.
She does it all.
Is that some of your?
I'll dabble. Same with like that hiking mentality. I do 2 runs of uphill, and I'm like, that was fun.
Kind of slow.
And I do a full day of resort, and I'm like, that was cool. You couldn't convince me to do 2 days really excitedly. Like, I think it's hard to tie me down.
Yeah.
And so any of these things, I do really enjoy it, and I enjoy that access it gives you. But I'm like, I think the biggest thing is cycling. I've never owned a car in my life.
Wow.
So,
cool.
And it's not that I've like been alone without a car. I drove Sophie's car to your house today.
Sure.
But I think I really struggle to go work out by driving somewhere.
I'm 100% with you.
So, I'm like, that's tough. Skiing, you kind of have to do that.
You do. Absolutely. Unless you're just sort of backcountry out your door. But even then, even where I live, I'm like, you still aren't. It's not different. Okay. No, that's really good. And you know what? I just want to, because hitting on that, what you talked about with Boulder, I do agree. And having been here now a couple, 25 years or so, 24 years. Couple of years. It is a somewhat, in some ways, disjointed community in that way. Like, you're like, you kind of have your I never go there. Like you said, I never go to South Boulder.
Yep.
In bad traffic, it's 25 minutes. In good normal traffic, it's 15 minutes.
Yep.
But it's a whole different world.
Yep.
And it's a small-ish town.
Yeah.
So, it's fascinating. And
I think it's the same with restaurants. I think that's more of a type A athletic person, where you go back to the same restaurants that taste good because it's easy to make those decisions.
Yeah.
And it's not that I avoid South Boulder at all, right? It's just that everything I typically want to do is into the mountains.
Yes.
So it's adjacent to where I am as opposed to going down.
Yeah.
Or going through town.
For sure. It's cool. Well, that's awesome. I mean, I really enjoy that you brought that up. And it is, again, we talk about love where you live, and it really focuses a lot more today on you. And I've been fascinated. I really enjoyed the conversation. I like getting to know you. And I 100% thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
No, thank you for having me on. It's a blast.
It is awesome. Well, very good. Well, here's the deal. We have listed the places you can find him. Search it. Find Alexey. Look at what he's doing. He's doing some fun stuff. And I'm going to even go deeper and follow some of these other podcasts and YouTubes. But in the meantime, I'll do what I always do at the close of a show, and I'll encourage you and everybody that's listening to please go out there and do something that you love.